Everything just fell perfectly into place for the New York Knicks, as there have been multiple updates in regards to veteran players available on the market that the Knicks have long held interest in, and now is the time for them to cash in on these guys. The Knicks do have one final spot left open on their roster for a veteran player, and also they found themselves in more trade rumors, and we're going to break all that down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into things. As always, if you guys are part of that 67.2% that's not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe for daily videos like this. We have the latest and greatest Knicks content. As long as those sirens outside do not throw me in prison, I think we're going to have videos every single day. But also, I might get thrown in prison. Who knows? You never know nowadays. They might know about all the inside information I've given out, like the Towns to the Knicks thing a year ago. They might have caught up with me. But the New York Knicks, things have fallen very well into place for them, as after there was the great non-full taxpayer mid-level exception taken by Guerschon Yabusele. The Knicks now have room for another veteran minimum contract, and there's been a lot of guys who've been linked to the Knicks. Don't get me wrong, there's been a ton of them, but one of them the Knicks have had interest in for a very long time, and now it's seeming like that has become a possibility, as rival teams are monitoring Marcus Smart's future with the Washington Wizards in case a buyout becomes an option. Washington has received little trade interest on Smart, but plenty of contenders would aggressively pursue him as a free agent. Smart is on a $21.6 million expiring contract. Now, the Knicks were interested in Marcus Smart when he was on the Grizzlies to start last season, and they did look heavily into trying to make a move for him and seeing what they could do. However, it would have costed a mix of Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa, which is not worth Marcus Smart at all. The Knicks also agreed on that, evidently decided the only way to get Marcus Smart is if he is to get bought out. Now, here we are. Marcus Smart is a top buyout candidate right now with the Wizards. The Wizards have a lot of veteran players on this team that I do imagine they'll go into the season with a good chunk of them, trying to watch them play well and then sell them off to contending teams later on, or end up buying them out just because a lot of them are on bigger contracts like Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum, both of which are on bigger contracts that do expire soon. Middleton's in the final year of his deal. He opted into that player option, of course, getting $30-some-odd million a year. And I do think Middleton would be a buyout candidate as well. But the Wizards have also made it clear that they do like having these veteran guys on their team because they think it's good for the young players. And it probably is. The Wizards are doing the rebuild right, and their front office is very, 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 very good at what they do. They're one of the better front offices in the NBA, but people don't give them that credit because they're the Wizards. They keep falling in the draft, and on top of that, they just end up in these situations where they suck. And the front office is really rectifying that very, very successfully. But Smart is someone who the Knicks have long held interest in. When this report from Sidery came out, Schwinny Poo, who's a big-time Knicks Twitter guy, did say the Knicks have had interest in Marcus Smart as far back as the 2023 offseason. I'd bet that if he gets bought out and can be signed for the minimum, he'd vault to the top of the Knicks wish list as an option to sign that final veteran minimum slot that the Knicks do have available. Now, Smart, last season, put up 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists per game with 1 steal per game as well, shooting 40% from the field and 35% from 3. Now, Smart's here for defense. It's what he does. He plays bigger than his size. The former NBA Defensive Player of the Year is one of the better on-ball defenders in basketball still, and he is someone who the Knicks have been long fans of. Now, given that was when Tom Thibodeau was the head coach, and maybe now things might change. However, I do imagine the Knicks do still harbor a high level of interest in Marcus Smart. Now, another Knicks account said the final piece of the puzzle hopefully gets bought out. Smart playing next to Brunson would be excellent. The defense, he can handle the ball. He can score. He can create. He doesn't have to play 35 minutes a night, and that's the biggest thing. He does fit into the team well. I do still think the Knicks should go for more of a shooter than anything else, though, and we will get into that as well because it's just something the Knicks do not have. And speaking of the Washington Wizards, as Sidery also mentioned, after the Wizards' acquisition of Cam Whitmore, who prioritized a larger wing role at his new destination, Cory Kispert is a very strong trade candidate. Kispert is on a team-friendly contract through 2028-29, which includes a team option, making it only $13.6 million annually. Now, Kispert is an elite shooter, but he's also not someone who was brought in by this current Wizards regime, which makes him a bit more tradable to them. Now, Kispert put up 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists, but he only shot 36.4% from 3 and 37% on corner threes. He's here to be a shooter. That was why he got drafted, and right now, we're not seeing that excellent shooting production. Now, Kispert is someone who does feel like he'd be a good fit with the Knicks, and it was mentioned by Knicks in 6 that a 6'6 guard who could shoot the lights out would be great for the Knicks, but he didn't shoot the lights out last season. However, Wizards fans wanted saying, if we could trade Kispert for a power forward or center to possibly get the Knicks full rights for our pick back, that would be lovely. And just another one, send Kispert to the Knicks for our pick protection back, and then we could start winning. Now, the Knicks, currently what they hold is the top 8 protected pick from the Washington Wizards next season. Effectively, if the Wizards are not in the top 8 of the draft, that first-round pick goes to the Knicks. However, I think everyone expects the Wizards to be in the top 8 of the draft unless they fall again because, well, the team isn't good. So, most likely, we'll be able to see a situation where the Knicks are likely not going to get that pick and it'll eventually convert to 2 second-rounders. However, the Knicks could also try to finagle something here. Now, here's the big issue with Cory Kispert when it comes down to the Knicks. His contract situation is rough. He is making that $13.6 million, which does make it hard for the Knicks to trade for him because you'd have to end up trading Mitchell Robinson and adding something onto that, and it's going to be a negative outlook for your team in the long run because then you are down a spot and you will only be able to sign 13 players. So Kispert is a long shot / no shot for the Knicks, but he is someone that the Knicks have shown interest in the past, specifically when it came to the NBA draft all those years ago, but they do still harbor interest in him. He's been rumored to be a Knicks target for a while now. Same goes for Marcus Smart. I do think Marcus Smart is the much more realistic guy here. I mean, Smart does fit what the Knicks are trying to do. They're trying to win games. He's a hard-nosed guy. He knows how to win. He's been on mostly winning teams throughout his NBA career, though he doesn't have a championship because the Celtics, after having him for so long, traded him right before they won the championship because, well, they needed Porzingis in fairness. But when it comes to Marcus Smart, he is someone who I think would be an interesting fit for the Knicks, but also, like, what would we be doing there? Because we already have Jalen Brunson, and then I imagine the starting lineup's going to feature Mitchell Robinson over Josh Hart, and Mikal's our shooting guard, and then we also have Deuce and Kolek and Jordan Clarkson. It just feels like that would be a super logjam, or Marcus Smart would effectively be playing wing at 6'3", and do we want that? That becomes a whole thing that we'd have to discuss. It feels like something that's nice in theory, but just in practice would not actually work out. And I would still rather the Knicks go for someone who is more of a lights-out shooter, whether that's a Landry Shamet or someone completely different. I would just prefer the Knicks to get some lights-out shooter. I think they have enough good defense and hustle players that they don't necessarily need Smart. But I'll leave that up to you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.